Jean Greer here at Stylish Fireplaces, introducing you to the Napoleon Elevation series of electric fireplace inserts. Elevation was modeled after the same dimensions as the gas Elevation and Elevation X series from Napoleon. So they've taken the measurements that would be required for framing in one of their gas elevation inserts, and they've given the electric elevation insert the same measurements. That allows builders to design their homes with a fireplace in the drawings, and if in that particular neighborhood or that client decides that they are going to go electric, they would use the elevation electric. If they're going to go gas, they have the elevation gas. They don't have to change the fireplace design from home to home to home. They just choose which fuel source they're going to have in that particular instance. So that was the design thinking behind the Elevation Electric. It is a deeper electric insert than many inserts that we're used to. It's around 16 inches deep. This is the 36 inch, and it certainly looks bigger than 36. There's also a 42. Like other Napoleon inserts in recent years, it has a big, bold glass face, very open, and I would say modern, if you could call an insert modern. The new technology here is the multi-layered flame. So there are multiple panels inside there amongst the oak logs, and those panels are giving us a triple layer flame effect. So there are 3 different flame effects going on here, and you can choose which of those flames to have on at any given time. So you can dial back the flames and have more or less. And then you also have flame colors. So we're showing the yellow flame here, but I could add in orange flames. And so I could crank up the orange or dial that back. I always find that the yellow flames look the most natural, but if you prefer a richer, more orange flame, you can certainly have that. And then there are ember bed colors underneath the logs, and you see it mostly at the front, but those can be changed. So you can cycle through some colors, and that light will come through that sort of ash matte ember bed that you see below the logs. We mentioned that these are oak logs that you're seeing here, and the flames are coming up in between. This is a dual voltage unit, so it could be connected to either 120 volts or 240 volts. On 120 volts, if I'm using the heater, the maximum output would be about 5,000 BTUs. That's enough to warm up about a 400 square foot area. And if I'm connected to 240 volts, I have more power for the heater, which means I could heat a larger area or just warm up the area more quickly. As always with a dual voltage unit, you buy one fireplace and you choose which way to wire it when it comes to installation. You do not buy one or the other. It is a universal fireplace, and you decide on the wiring at installation and run either 120 or 240, but you don't have to decide that when you're ordering the fireplace. So we've talked about the flames being orange or yellow, and we've talked about the ember colors. This will work off of the Napoleon Home app, and the app has a much more visual representation of all of the controls. We're finding as the electric fireplaces get more and more features, the apps are definitely the easier way to control the fires. It's a more visual representation. It's easy to see that I'm changing the embers or the flames or so forth. The remote has all the functions on it, but it's not as intuitive to change those functions on a remote when they're trying to squeeze everything into the buttons that you can have on a remote. So we do like the Napoleon Home app for controlling this. And of course, there's also a touchpad up here with most of the features present as well, including the heat. The heat is temperature controlled, thermostat controlled, and I can do that from the remote or from the app. It is also a function of the heater. It has eco and boost. So eco function pulls back on the heat and the blower output to save energy. Boost function is a timed feature that allows maximum heat and maximum blower if I need to get the room warm in a hurry. So those are great functions to have for controlling the heat output on these fireplaces. This does have a 5-year enhanced warranty from Napoleon, so they will cover the parts for 5 years, and the labor will be covered for the first year as it would on any of the Napoleon warranties. This is a hardwire only unit. Even if you're doing 120 volts, this will be a hardwire unit, not a plug-in. Other inserts that I would compare this one to, if we're talking about multi-layer flames, you would start with the Dimplex Revolution series. It's not as deep as the Elevation. It's only about 12 inches deep because it has a single panel in there with 2 layers of flames where the panel comes up in the middle of the logs. That would be the closest in terms of mimicking this triple layer flame, and it does come in 36 and 42 inch sizes. I would also look at a Monty's signature insert. It's a 38-inch insert that combines a Monty's LED technology with Dimplex Optimus technology. That's the mist technology. So it's a big square traditional insert, but with mist flames coming up. So in terms of depth, it's definitely a little deeper than the Elevation, but there's a realism there that comes from the combination of LED and mist that would be nice to compare to the Elevation insert. You could also look at any of the other Monty TRD inserts in the larger sizes, so the 38, the 44, the 48. You could get this big bold effect, but a little more of a contemporary layout as far as logs go, and definitely not with the triple layer flames. And then of course Napoleon has their Element insert series, which come in 36 and 42, but that's about where the similarity ends. That flame effect on the Element is much, much different than the Elevation series here. This is definitely a more luxurious electric insert with this triple layer flame. All of these inserts can be found at stylishfireplaces.ca. You can search by brand and look for Napoleon Elevation. Search by style and look for the traditional square inserts.